As I write down these words of mine, will they be found, or will I be lost under oceans and frozen hills? Will they burn up and fade away? By the darkness, fill the empty void. 'Cause everybody knows the future isn't sorrow, golden rays of star. You and I should know that someday it's time to go.
Hello, all you lovely people out there. How are you? Ah, number 11-15, which, by the way, is how I'm going to do this from now on. No more episode numbers because that was driving me crazy trying to remember what episode I was on. So now I know whatever episode I'm on is the date. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier, but it works. But hi, how are you? I've got an interesting topic for this thing. You'll have to pardon me if I go off the rails here and there. It's been a rough, probably one of the roughest weeks ever. I know I say that all the time, and I don't want to, but it's been that way. Um, Definitely had the, I don't know, the vibes were not good this week. That's for sure. But that's not to say that there is no good stuff going on. It's all good. Things are going to be fine. But thank you for all the messages and all that stuff. That's very nice. Don't know if you guys know, but Mikey's mom passed away this week. Uh, find him on Facebook and give him a shout out. And, um, his mom pretty much passed away from the same thing that my mom passed away. So it was expected, as he told me today. It was expected, but it's never something you really, want to go through. I know what it's like. I've been through it. So shout out to Mikey. Hope you feel, I mean, I know. Like whose words mean anything, even mine. I know how it goes. But give him a shout out, and I'm gonna give him a shout out. I played one of his favorites. That was also a request from Alfonso for Dead Stars, and you know, well, just to give you a quick rundown of that, it was thanks to Mikey that Dead Stars became a 12-inch because it was his idea to sort of put that out. And you know how I feel about vinyl, so he convinced me, and it turned out really well. So that's a good thing. So anyway, yeah, give him a shout out. So, well, thank you, Richard. Hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. Um, so yeah. So anyway, look, we're gonna keep it positive, even though some of the stuff I'm gonna play is like way out there because of the topic at hand. So I'm gonna get sort of into it, I suppose. But first, a quick catch up. Well, my girlfriend had sort of an accident and wound up not spraying. She fractured both ankles. So you can give her a shout out too. Although she's not online, she's not on social, so you can just give the shout outs to me and I'll give them to her. But yeah, she's doing good. Uh, a bit of a trippy week. Having to, you know, get around and stuff, but we're making it work. And she's a trooper. She's like in some ways stronger than I am when it comes to this kind of stuff, so that's good. Um, let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh yeah, yeah. So as a result of a couple of different things going on this week, Corpus has been postponed. So I'm not going to Corpus on the 23rd. That's been postponed until April. But everything else is fine. So in other words, let's just pull them up because I need to make sure I know what I'm talking about here. Oh no, what did I do? Of course, I messed everything up. I thought I had it. Oh, 1 second here. I thought I had it pulled up already, but I guess I messed up. Um, yeah, because without the interwebs, I won't even know where I'm playing. Because my memory is like not good when it comes to these kinds of things, so I will forget everything. So anyway, here we go. So San Antonio is still on. Wednesday the 27th, I'm in San Antonio, Texas. That's going to be fun. That's at Sam's Burger Joint. Friday the 29th, I'm in Houston, Hinky Pilot. That's going to be the intimate show. That's going to be fun too. The 30th, I will be in El Paso. And that's going to be like crazy because I already know how you El Pasoans are. You're crazy and I love you for it. So yes, I can't wait for Crazy El Paso. And then Corpus comes but next year. So Corpus is officially part of the 2025 tour now. So there's that. So yeah, so that's where we're at with shows. So yeah, the topic for tonight, which is funny because I wasn't really thinking of this topic. It came up sort of in a couple of DMs that I got about the songwriting, because I had done the songwriting episode and people were like, you should do more stuff like that. And I was like, I basically told them that I was sort of working on a book of sorts. And I thought about doing a book. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I digress. You know what that means. I have to drink if I am, although it's only eggnog. And it's not spiked this time. No, I have to stay very alert. But I can't see your chats. What happened to your chats? Am I still going? Ah, there we go. Oh no, I am coming to El Paso. Absolutely coming to El Paso. So yeah. So a couple of weeks back, I had done a stream on, or actually two streams, because it was a two-parter on songwriting. Because someone had asked at a show, like, have I ever done and I was like, I don't know that I'm qualified. So that got me thinking about a lot of different subjects. And I've been thinking about doing a podcast, but a different type of podcast where basically I break down creativity. And I was thinking of making this a Spotify thing. So I'm going to look into it because it's something that I really want to do. So instead of, quote, writing a book, I thought the book would be done would be done in a series of chapters online. That way people can listen to it while they're driving or whatever. So it doesn't have to be a book per se. But it would be presented in the guise of a book. And so this one of the subjects that came up was, because I get an email every so often. It's, like people will ask me questions. And one of the questions I get all the time is like, what do you do if people don't like what you're doing? Like, what do you do when, fans don't like an album or, in that context? But also, I don't think anyone's going to like the stuff I'm doing. Like someone will say to me, I don't think anyone's going to like the stuff I'm doing. It's too weird, or it's too this, or it's too that. It doesn't fit in with this, or it doesn't fit in with that. And so I thought about that subject and I thought it's not really brought up too often. Because obviously in the scope of art and music, I mean, every style on earth, let me just put it this way and ruin the entire thing. But every style of music or every style of art on earth is going to have some sort of audience. It's not even something that I'm saying. It's something that you can look for yourself. I mean, you can find, cat techno, and I'm sure you'll find some, in fact, I mean, I wasn't even looking and I found this. I'll just play you a quick. Yeah, this. So for every you know I had to do something funny too, right? So for every style of music that's out there, there's an audience for it, and there's a sort of like these subgenres for it. So nothing that you do, and I mean this, and like I said, this is like it'll end the whole stream right here, but that's fine. Nothing that you do musically or artistically or anything of the sort is going to be something that doesn't have an audience. Sooner or later, you will find an audience. Um, so that should never be at the front of your mind. Um, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because you know that I talk about sort of, yeah, sort of. I promise you, I'll play the whole thing later. You'll laugh. But maybe I'll um, yeah, wait till you hear the rest of it, Wendy. So, so yeah. I love reading your chats. Thank you. Oh, and before I forget, sorry, folks. Sorry. I know I'm terrible at these things. Terrible. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm terrible. So, happy birthday, Wendy. Happy birthday, Sherry Bell. Happy birthday, Robert. Three birthdays. Oh my God. Awesome. And I have a little bit of something for each of you tonight. So yes, your requests were definitely taken into consideration. And I just want you to know that your requests were taken into consideration. Oh my God. Am I making this crazy bad or what? So anyway, let's play a song. So this one is actually, well, I said I was going to play demos and weird stuff. So I found this version of It's Not Forever, and I thought it was so weird and messed up that it should be played. This is coming off of a reel-to-reel that is badly damaged. And so what I did was I tried to stitch it together in a way that made sense, but in the end, I kept all the noise because I just thought it sounds cool. So this would have been a song that I would have re-recorded and put on the new album, but this one would have been too complex. But it used to be a popular ABOX song back in the day. So I'm going to play that next. This one's called It's Not Forever. And yeah, when we come back, we'll continue with our subject for the evening. We'll turn on the overhead for this.
You were my friend so long ago. Time is at hand. Now I must go. My train is almost here. My visit was short. Excuse my appearance. I've gotten quite old. As you can see, life has been kind. At least I have that. All through the years, I thought about you all. Yes, I'm leaving, but it's not to love the people that I trust.
Thank you for that, Richard. Richard says, I love the raw quality. Reminds me in a very positive. By the way, the reason I'm reading this one is because I like this compliment. It reminds me of early psychic TV or nocturnal emissions. Raw freaking emotion expressed through keyboard. Thank you. Thank you. It was like that back then too. Like it was so crazy the way we used to do things. Oh my God, bad. Nothing like today, but at the same time, eh. So let me get into this topic. Well, sorry, you're free to ask me any question, by the way. And if it takes us away from the topic at hand, that's totally fine. Sorry, I'm going to answer this one too. So Vic 20, thank you. He was going to send me a video again because he'd sent me a video of when Vic 20 was a much younger band, and they were doing a cover of "Do You Hear Me Anymore?" And I wanted to play it because it was really cool, but I lost the video. I have it somewhere on my hard drive, but I've spent many hours looking for it, and I have not turned it up. But nice, a question. I love questions. So Fabian says on YouTube, what happens when you have demos like this? You don't want to revive any of your old demos. Am I right that we have not heard all of your demos? I would say you've heard a lot, because over the years, I've released a lot of them. Here's the sad thing. There's two sad points with the answer to that question. And I love your question, by the way. It's a great question. And it goes back to the songwriting thing too. But I'm sad that in our digital world, it's too easy to just delete things. So as opposed to tapes, it was a pain in the butt to record over a reel, because if you recorded over a reel, the quality of the second recording was already going to be bad. So as you keep reusing tape, it degrades. So you weren't as prone to deleting things. You would just record them. And then, when you filled up that tape, you turn it over, you fill up that tape. Well, get out another C90, put it in. So we actually have more demos from the early periods than we do from the later periods. In the later side of things, it was way too easy to delete things. If we wanted to record over a demo on a DAT, for example, it wouldn't get ruined. So you could just wipe it and go right back in. So unfortunately, we were really guilty of doing that in the right at the start of the digital age. We would reuse a lot of DATs and stuff because it was like, well, it's on the MPC. We can load it up again, and we're gonna record it anyway. So who cares? Now I care because it's like, oh, I remember that demo. We never got around to it, so therefore it's gone. Not to mention things that disappeared just because you know things either the DATs got messed up and wouldn't play, or my MPC would load samples or songs. So tape, for as bad as tape is, was a great medium to keep that old stuff. And so some of it, when I listen to it, I don't personally feel like I need to re-record it. But that's because I think differently about things, which is going to lead me into this segment that we're going to, talk about what happens when people don't like your stuff. So here's a little scenario. Well, let's say that I go into the studio and I record a song and I decide this song needs to be recorded all the way and I'm going to track it. I'm going to put backing vocals on it. I'm going to do all kinds of stuff. I'll release that track. It could be an anything box track. It works. At the same time, I will play a demo for someone and they'll love it. And they're like, oh, it's just fine the way it is. And I agree. I actually agree. I am not one of those people that believes that the end studio result is the last word on the subject of a song. I think it comes first from a raw recording to get the emotion down. And I think art works the same. I've done sketches where I start off with just black and white and I'm just messing around, maybe a crayon, maybe like something else with the intention that it's going to turn into a painting at some point. And then I'll look at it and I'll say to myself, well, I don't feel like turning this into a painting anymore. I feel like just working on this piece and doing what I can with what it is. Now, here's the thing. Do I care that people like it or not? Do I care? It's a good question. My honest answer is, yeah, of course I care, just like anyone else. Like, this is why I get that email from people that will say to me, what do you do if, like, nobody seems to like your stuff? And so, like, whenever I get that question, I usually reply back with, well, what gives you that impression? Do people come out and actually say your stuff sucks? Or is it that you're not getting enough airplay on your stuff, enough views, like all these things? Like, is it something that you're assuming versus something that you're not, that hasn't developed yet? DJ Trip, nice to see you here too, by the way. Hi. DJ Trip on YouTube says, I always assume no one will like my music. So even when one person likes it, I'm happy. I like that. I like that attitude. I'm actually the same way. I always assume that this is how I think. This is me personally. Doesn't mean that you have to think this way, but this is how I think about music and art. It's the same for me, no matter what the medium is. I'm always of the mind that I'm making this stuff for everyone in the world. Like, I want everyone in the world to love it and enjoy it. But I'm very keenly aware that no one may. that it could just be me thinking that it's really good and that it's not going to go past me and maybe 3 more people. And I have to be okay with that. And that's sort of how I think about it. I want it to be for everyone. I intend it for everyone. I swear, I declare, I want it to be for every single person on earth. That's how I think. And I'm keenly aware that many people will not understand what I'm doing with it, including people that are fans that will say, hey, this new stuff doesn't sound like your old stuff. Or I love this new stuff where you're going because I'm a new fan and I just got into it, but I can't understand where you came from. Wherever you came from, that other scene you were from, doesn't make any sense to me. I've had both. Um, oh, I love this. Jay the teacher says, do what makes you happy. If someone doesn't like it, it's on them. Exactly. So you, but why does that matter though to us when someone says, I don't like it? Brings me to my first bit. I actually tried to be more professional with this one. Let's see if it works. I don't know. I don't know if this, let's see. Oh, yes. Do you even like your own art? I mean, that's the question. Um, do you even like your own art? Think about this one. So, wow, that's really dark. That finally this camera's working again though. I got this camera to work again, by the way. Yeah, this is the one that was like acting really bad. Oops. Yeah, somewhat. Maybe. That's better. It's about as good as this one's gonna get. But I actually like this camera a lot. So here it is, man. Like people will say things no matter what you do. If you post, especially if you're online, because and especially in the culture we're in, you post, I love cats, someone's going to invariably say, I hate cats, I love dogs. That's just the way it is. You're not going to get around that situation. So what you have to do is sort of find your own way to look, I get you like dogs, but my stuff is, cat techno, and that's what I'm into. And I'm going to look for people that are into cat techno, and hopefully, that will be the thing. V Countess, hi Sue. V Countess on YouTube says, I tend to be self-critical, but I do. I don't know what that one says, but I do like it sometimes. Oh yeah, like it. Um, I like the way you said this, Eric. Yes, I do like my own art. And if I don't like my own art, I could rework on it. It's true. But see, here's my question. Would you rework it if other people said they didn't like it? Like, let's say that you finished a piece. This is for Eric. I'm going to ask Eric this question because I think his answer is going to be the most honest. So this one's for you, Eric. I'm going to ask you the question. If you worked on a piece and you like it, but let's say 10 people are like, not into it. I don't know what you were thinking with this piece. What is your first reaction? Do you delete it? Do you unpost it? Do you go back and rework on it to see, what it is? Or do you just say, hey, it's not for you then? Like, what is your response to this? Before I tell you what my response would be. Vic20 says on YouTube, someone told me recently that a song I wrote made them get really emotional and cried. That made my day, as that album was really moody as it was released during the lockdown. There you go. So, in that vein, I'm sure that there would have been many people that would have said it's too depressing, or I don't want depressing stuff right now, and all that. But I think you would have done it anyway. I mean, that's the general gist of things. I mean, we're gonna do it anyway. But here's the rub. No matter what happens, you're gonna do the art anyway. But see, what's gonna happen is if these people, whoever they are, especially the critics, because I always think the critics are actually like people who would have done what you would do if they'd had the guts. And yes, that's not a direct quote from the War of Art, but it's sort of a quote from the War of Art. Todd says, I would be inclined to leave whatever it was and move on to the next thing. Yep, that's what most people do. And that's fine. But if you liked it, I would venture to say that it wouldn't matter. Even if only 10 people got it, So like, I'll give you an example. And then I'll play a song. I'll play one of the birthday songs. So here's an example. Like during there was a period that we like decided to embrace guitars for a little while, and I wanted to mess around with guitars. Probably because Paul was in the band at the time and he was playing guitar, so we figured, you know, let's have more songs with some guitars in it so that he has a job, so that he can play, So I would write some songs and I would let guitar parts go in there, and I would lay down my guard for the guitars thing and do more guitars in the music, thinking, hey, it's okay because Paul plays guitar, right? And a lot of fans were like, hey, what the hell are you doing? You're going indie rock. This isn't synth pop. This isn't what Peace was about. Blah 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 blah. And yeah, that was a bit of a drag, because it bothered me obviously that people didn't like it, but at the same time, I was compelled to do it. So if I'm compelled to write something, I can't let someone stop me because that style is not in right now, or that's not where the genre is at, you know? Um, so another glaring example that I would use is like, you know, can you be a goth band and have a hot pink cover instead of it being black? Like, does it have to be Graveyards? Like, can't you have something like pink and blue, but it be a goth album? Like, does everything have to conform? And so, in my view, it doesn't. I don't have to conform. It can conform on its own, of its own merits, and that's kind of cool. Like, obviously, like I like when people dance to music, so yeah, I might put a 4/4 kick in something for the expressed feeling that yes, I want people to dance to it. But does that mean that everything I do must be predicated on that just because I got a good reaction from it? That is the key. Do I keep doing it because I got a reaction from it that was positive versus, well, my moody stuff no one seems to like, so I guess I should stop doing it. You know? So back to Eric here. Eric says, I wouldn't take it personal. I just need to rework and move on. And some people would like my artwork, and if they don't like it, it's fine with me. Nice. I had a girl once tell me that my artwork needs to be framed because I like it framed. Good. There you go. So there you go. There you go. There you go. TMT mixes like the Cure releasing Friday I'm in Love, pink goth, if you will. Yeah. Not only that, they got into like the Latin thing for a song. I would say the Cure is a very good example of like, let's go sideways and like reinvent ourselves every time, which is good. But it goes back to that core question. Why is it that we sometimes don't seem to have traction in the stuff we're doing? Like, is it that we're doing something wrong? I'll let you think about that one. We're going to play a song. So this one was Wendy's request. So happy birthday, Wendy. This is your request. And this is from the new album. This is The Pain I Inherited from You. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. Whew.
my heart, fluctuations in my mind. That is all I know. And when I hear you crying in the darkest hours, do you feel responsible for me? Yes, it's true. The pain that I've inherited from you. Yes, it's true. The pain that I've inherited from you. The pain that I've inherited from you. The pain that I've inherited. I blame you for everything. I guess that is not fair. I blame you for loving me, but I still don't seem to care. I blame you for leaving me when you could not bear. I blame you for hating me, something I won't dare. Yes, it's true. The pain that I've inherited from you. Yes, it's true. The pain that I've inherited from you. The pain that I've inherited from you. The pain that I've inherited from you. Oh, the pain that I've inherited from you. Oh, the pain that I've inherited. Yes, it's true. The pain that I've inherited from you. Yes, it's true. The pain that I've inherited from you. The pain that I've inherited from you. The pain that I've inherited.
The pain that I inherited from you. That was for Wendy's birthday. Happy birthday, Wendy. Hi, Steve. Steve made it. Yes. So Steve says, imagine that. I made it to the stream before Tyson and Paul touched gloves. Hey, is someone watching the fight? I'm not the sort to actually watch fights, but for some reason, this one's going to be crazy. I just want to know if like it started. DJ Trip says, one of my favorite off-brand. I love that. I love that. Off-brand. Wait till you hear the other stuff I have in my secret, in my secret stash. Talk about off-brand. One of my favorite off-brand ABOX songs is the one where you name the other albums like Easter eggs in the lyrics. Ooh, yeah, that's on Electrodelica. That is the second to last song on Electrodelica where that happens. I thought that was funny. Yeah, we wanted to have a song that had all the hits titles in it, which we thought was funny at the time. I still like playing that one. So no one's watched it yet? Oh, V Countess says my sister's watching. Yeah, whoever's watching, keep us posted, like Todd said. Yeah, the error code that you're getting, Wendy, is that Jake Paul just got punched out, and it actually like it was so bad that they had to turn off the cameras. That's what I think. Oh, Alfonso says he's watching it. Nice. Well, tell me all about it. I don't know. I'm gonna watch it as soon as this is over, or at least I'm gonna look at the highlights. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not really a fight person, but there's something about the way Tyson speaks that like, yeah, he's scary, man. I would not want to fight that guy. Oh, thank you. So anyway, I don't. Oh, I did it. A little eggnog won't hurt. So what? That's funny. So no one's watching it because it's reportedly crashing? I don't know. I wonder if it's weather related or satellite related because I'll tell you right now, the weather where I am in Long Beach is crazy. It's freaking cold outside. It's actually cold in here and it's never cold in this room. And it's cold in this room. So I can tell you that right now, the weather's crazy and there's like really crazy winds out there. I was out there just a little bit. As a streamer, who do I go up against in a vocal battle? Oh my God. Please. Aliens. Sure. Alien sounds good. Oh, are there? Have there been M-class flares this week? Ooh, that's probably why, because that messes with all the satellites, of course. Fabian Star on YouTube says M-class flares may be responsible for this. It's possible because it's been really strange weather. I was out there a little while ago and I was getting the East Coast vibes. And that's never what it's like here. So DJ Trip says I have to go play music for drunk people watching the fight. Good night. Have fun, man. Have fun. Hey, send me those files. So yeah. Netflix was just buffering during the fight. People were losing their minds. Look, this is probably the only fight or the only event on Netflix where there's got to be a time delay in case something really bad happens and they can't show it on even on Netflix. So that's my interpretation of what's going on here. Anyway, Claude versus Martin Gore. That's hilarious. You guys are funny. Yeah, I don't think I would dare. I don't think I would dare do that. Anyway, back to our, so number 2. Why does it matter if people hate your art? I mean, it's a valid question. Why does it matter? Why does it matter if other people hate what we do? Well, the easy answer is, of course, we do want to feel accepted. We do even in the way back part of our psyche, we do want to have acceptance from our peers. So, no one wants to say, well, as the electronic music goes, you are awful. Like, I don't want to hear that. Of course I don't. Or the music that you were doing 15 years ago was 15 times better than what you're doing now, and what you're doing now is crap. Of course I don't want to hear stuff like that. I don't. However, there's another side of this. When I have the muses sitting on my shoulders and I'm playing, weird stuff and I'm having the time of my life doing it, that sort of matters more. So this next part, this next thing I'm going to say before I play the next track, you've heard it before, right? It's like find your own tribe, find the people that are going to accept what you're doing or where you're at. And for a while, I have to admit, we were like, just ABOX as an example, we were doing better with the indie audiences than we were with the traditional synth pop audiences. But that's because we'd changed. We'd changed the style. The cool thing was we could play both things at shows and nobody cared. So, you know, oh, I love that. Fabian says, I couldn't give two shites if anyone likes my music, really. Awesome. But you do want people to like it. I mean, it's like I said, I want everyone to enjoy it. Like, I want everyone to love it. But I'm aware that it just can't happen that way. It's just, there's too many variables. But on the other hand, you can find people that are like-minded who would like the kind of stuff we're doing. So I think that's the function of, I hate to use that word, but the marketing side of it is that, yeah, you do have to play shows and venues that are more appreciative of the stuff you're doing. Like, you don't want to play in a metal club if you're doing soft synth music. It's not going to bode well. So why do it? And I've seen this happen where bands will get a show, and I've done it. I've even done it where it's obviously a stupid mismatch, and you're going to have, you're going to get pushback because it's not the kind of music they're into. Now, there's a plus side to this. If you do such things and you win them over, and somehow you win some of those people over, that's momentous, because now you're like, wow, I actually was able to get in someone's head and in their heart and twist it a little bit, and now they like it. If you can do that, you're off to a good start. And Richard says, yep, art is weird. People will get it or not. And yeah, when it comes to visual art, same thing, same process. Yeah, you'll notice that I'm talking mostly about music, but I'm really, when I say art, I'm referring to both things. And it could be poetry that you write. It could be, that you like to do art with nothing but crayons. It could be that you like to do nothing but black paintings. I had a period where I was doing nothing but black paintings, man, where literally I was just exploring the color black, and I was going to do it for a year, and I did it. And, there's nothing wrong with that. You have to go through, the other side of it. Alfonso, I don't know how you're paying attention, but Alfonso says, Paul is approaching the ring. Man, now I wish we could just all watch it together just to see what would happen. Darn it. Coming in on the air at night from Phil Collins. Does that mean when it goes, dun, 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 that'll be like Tyson just smacking the shit out of. Oh my God, I'm terrible. That's funny. But yeah, that's the key with all art is that you have to explore, and no one's comments, or no one's like, if no one's really paying attention to what you're doing, like I had this happen to me. Actually, I'm glad that, oh man, it's like scrolling by so fast. Come on, get into control. Oh man, I just lost the chat. Oh, there it is. I've got the chat back. Look at what Ed Sheeran used to do, says Jay the teacher. No, I won't. But see, that's my point. I'm not a big fan of Ed Sheeran, but at the same time, I can acknowledge that he's popular, and obviously people like him. And again, there is nothing wrong with that. That was a funny one. Jay the teacher says, weren't you in a Flex Seal painting phase? Absolutely, still am. I still love that phase. And I was really exploring it for a while, and I don't even think I don't think I've scratched the surface of where I'm going with what I'm doing art-wise. I'll say it that way. I got led into other areas because obviously I wanted to do the Hope book, and obviously a new album was coming up. And since we're on that subject, I'll bring it up. On the new album, I wanted to bring some of the Flex Seal stuff into it, but it didn't. I felt it didn't fit. It's not that I didn't like it. I just felt it doesn't fit. But I was doing all these weird experiments with acetone and ink and just weird stuff. And that seemed to fit. And so I ran with it. And so I will self-conform to whatever I'm working on. Meaning, so if I'm in an ink phase, then that's what I'm in. I'm in an ink phase. That doesn't mean I'm going to abandon it if someone says, "Man, I hate your ink stuff." Well, too bad. I mean, if that's what I'm into at the moment, that's what I'm into. So that's, one of the things. But I'm glad you're here, Richard Yates. I miss you on X, but yeah, I'm glad you're here because I had this trouble when I was doing some of the Tezo stuff because I noticed that everyone wants to make everything move, and I haven't really explored movement too much in a lot of the visual stuff that I'm doing. I haven't done it as much. It's not that I don't have ideas, I just haven't done it. So I could rush myself into it because that's what was in during that time. And I would have probably gotten much more traction than I did. But at the same time, it's not where I was at. So I'm okay with being like the last man standing when it comes to certain things. I respect you for that. So, but it's that feeling like, you know, I can't do it to just please a market. That wouldn't work for me. So like, you know, just because, purple is in, that doesn't mean I'm going to do something that's purple. I'm just not going to do it. It's not my thing. So, and he says yes. Richard says yes. I think in static images, I don't care too much for movement. I agree with you, but at the same time, I also work on video stuff. So I'm like, why haven't I done it? And it's not because the pressure's certainly there. It's the same with AI art. Like everyone will go towards AI to do stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to do it. It's just not me. And so now I'm starting to get traditional art is so like, mid. It's old. You're not with the new program, and it's like I don't want to be with the new program. I'm always anti whatever's happening. Or, well, I shouldn't say that. I'm not anti-pop. I'm not, even though I call myself N-pop. But I'm not anti-pop. It's just that I'm pro making music and art. However that happens. Anyway, I'm going to play a song so you guys can watch the fight. So this is the second where I lost it. Oh, no. Here it is. Awesome. I got it. So this was a request from Sherry Bell, who also is having a birthday today. So this is happy birthday to Sherry Bell. She had requested Songbirds, and not quite ready for this version, I don't think. So this one is the longer edits because I had put this together because I thought they sounded good together. So it's actually a twofer. So this one is a track that was literally written at the computer with a microphone and reactor, and you can hear the keys that I'm pressing are actually the keyboard itself, and I mean the computer keyboard. And that's going to go into Songbirds. So it's like a 2 for 2. Here we go. The Loneliness Prevails and Songbirds.
I can tell the truth upon your face. It tells me everything I need to know. I struggle hard to slip away. Stood so long under this pain, forgetting that the loneliness prevails. Forgetting that the loneliness prevails. We say we love them. We say they'll dance to your not as cold. Some birds, flowing feathers, dancing waves, loves of your living things. Time to change, move ahead. Songs of laughter forever, laughter forever. I was with you, you were beside me, laughing with the sea and the colored sand. We rolled like leaves on the wind, blowing and merging into each other. Songbirds, we saw them swaying, flying through the sky and the open air. Take my tired eyes into the sky, where they wait to meet us after the rain. We can say we love them, say they'll dance as pure as the snow, not as cold. It won't be as cold. Some was dancing, white feathers and dancing waves, lots of pure and living things. Time to change and to move ahead, singing songs of laughter forever, singing the song forever, singing the song forever. Fade away, it will fade away.
Of course, you can tell. But yeah, I definitely love the Chameleons UK. I my one of my favorite albums actually of all time. Like it's in my top. I can't say top 10 because that's not fair. I always tell people you can't do the whole top 10 thing with me because then you have to like be aware that the first 5 or 6 are going to be all Beatles albums. So and then Pink Floyd. So let's not say top 10. But definitely in my top 25 albums of all time is the Chameleons UK with Strange Times is one of my favorite albums. And so that's so funny. So JPK says on Twitch, of all places, the fight is buffering too much, so I left it. ABOX is running smoothly. That's funny. So I wonder if it's from, where are they streaming from? Do you guys know what state they're in? It's got to be something to do with satellites. Because, like I said, the weather here is crazy. And I'm surprised that it's actually working so well. But I'm looking at my outgoing, and I'm doing good. There's no drop frames. It's been pretty awesome. So I can't complain. Oh, so it's streaming from Texas. That's odd. You would think, yeah, if it's Dallas, you guys should be fine. Oh, that's weird. It might be related to the flares. I mean, we had quite a few from what I've been seeing now. Because, you know, once you guys type something, I go crazy looking. So it looks like we did have some solar flares. So yeah, that does affect satellites. So who knows? Who knows? But yeah, so I went through a really crazy goth phase for a while ABOX was doing its thing. And which is funny, right? And so yeah, I made I've done three, no, yeah, three records that way, but pretty much absorbed at this point. So yeah, Fabian Star on YouTube says, "Do you like the new romantic era? Were you directly influenced by any of these bands?" The only one, and I don't know if it qualifies, but I'll tell you, there's two that I'm thinking of, but I think of it in terms of songs. I definitely liked B Movie, and I definitely liked, yeah, I mean, I'm not a Durani per se. I've grown to appreciate Duran Duran a lot more. But what I found really interesting is that the interwebs, meaning, you know, the algorithms, seem to think that Duranis and ABOX fans are very similar, which is interesting to me because I was never really a Durani. I was more of a Depeche Mode person. But um, Stephen Tintin Duffy, like in the early days, Visage especially. Spandau Ballet's very early work was cool, but I would not call it an influence. I liked the stuff. I would dance to it in clubs, but definitely Visage for sure, because that was one of the first things that I heard that was very different to me. Um, but you know, but I'm not an anti Durani either. I do like them. I just never really went out and bought records or never listened to it enough to for it to be influenced. But I did like Tintin. So, but it's funny. What I did like about that era was that it had flair. So I did love that part of it. I always liked the glam stuff too. I would say that the glam rock era had more of an effect on me than you know than the moment that I was in, which is interesting because I was listening to new wave and I was getting into it and it was sort of influencing me, but my early influences all came from 1960s and 70s, you know, crazy weird rock. So it's one of those things, you know. But I digress. Oh, no more drink. Got that last bit in there, you know. So I wouldn't say cause and effect. What I wouldn't consider cause and effect an influence. I would consider them peers because they were coming out around the same time. So I wouldn't say that, you know. But Depeche Mode and Erasure for sure, especially the era of Depeche Mode that I would say influenced me the most was Black Celebration, which was fantastic. I mean, it's still one of my, again, in my top 25 albums of all time, Black Celebration is one of the albums. Definitely. Right up there with, you know, Joy Division, Closer, and all that. But yeah, man, go listen to like old glam rock from like the late 1960s. It's pretty cool. And you can dance to it. So it's kind of cool. I had, you know, well, okay. Mean Gene says Duran equals sugar-coated synth. Well, people said that about me too, you know, especially like in the beginning. In the early days, man, people were saying we were really sugar-coaty. I don't know that I didn't think of ourselves that way. Like, for example, you know, I don't know, I shouldn't even tell you this. I shouldn't, but there's a mean streak in me that wants to say it now. So, you know, there's a lot of interesting things that people misunderstand about ABOX in the very beginning. So I think that's funny. And I let that roll because I think it's funny to me. So, you know, oh yeah, Bowie for sure. Especially like Ziggy era and after for me is like my favorite stuff. So, but in fact, I was with Mikey in Jersey and we watched a movie about glam and I can't remember the name of it, but it'll come to me. but it is what it is. So how are we doing? Are we doing okay? How's Jake Paul doing? Round one over? So anyway. Oh yeah, all that stuff. Great stuff. Oh my where's my everyone's saying where's my I think she went to a concert. So she's at a concert. But she did stop in and say hi. She actually told me ahead of time that she couldn't make it. I was like, no. Sad face. No. No, I'm glad she's enjoying herself. Her husband are out at a concert, which is funny. I know what people are doing when they're not watching because they tell me, which is cool. Wait, round 4? Are we in round 4 already? Who's getting pounded? I just gotta know. I just want to know. I'm like curious, even though I don't follow fights, but anyway. I digress, and I have no drink. So I'm going to go find something to drink, and then I'll come right back. So this is a twofer. No, I'll play this one first, I think. This is a good one so this is a funny one. So Robert had hit me up right before his birthday and said, I want you to find this version of a demo from Hope that you played early on in the stream, and it sounded really good. And he has it, he said, but it doesn't sound as good as the one that you played in the stream. And that's because I'd done a little bit of remastering on it and made it sound a little bit nicer. And it's an instrumental. There's a part at the end that skips that I don't like, but it's a real wart because I was playing it live and I messed up. So I'm not fond of this, but I am fond of the innocence of the time. So this is from 1993. This is a song that I dedicate to Robert for his birthday, and this is his birthday song, and it's titled Make Your Own Song. So when people ask me about demos from Hope, here's one of them. So this is an instrumental, and while that's playing, I will go get something to drink. And then I'll be back. Here you go. So that was Make Your Own Song. That was for Robert's birthday. Happy birthday, Robert. As you can see, I found the file. I will send it to you, buddy. So I promised him I would send it to him, and I haven't because I couldn't find it. Sue says, Tyson is old, but I hope he prevails. Me too. I think Jake Paul is too cocky. He needs to be. Sorry. I know I'm terrible. Sorry. I can't help it. It's just because I guess it's because I grew up watching Tyson. Like, well, not watching Tyson, but just hearing about Tyson. And it's just like, I don't know. There's something, I don't know. I don't know. All I can tell you is something's going to happen. Round 7 of 8? It feels like this is long. So I think I see what Jake Paul's strategy is to tire him out. He's going to try to tire him out. And that's the only way that I think it could work. Here we go. Play by play. I wish we could all watch it together. It would be funny. With commentary. That would be hilarious. I can't do both, unfortunately. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. But so, back to our topic, since there's only half an hour left. The topic of the night was, what do you do when people don't like your stuff? Accept it. That's all you can really do. It goes back to something that I talked about. It's actually something new that I've adopted over the last year or so, and I've actually been really enjoying this sort of thing. Scorecard with it. Oh, yeah, not shocking they'd have a short fight. Todd says, too much hype to have a 1-minute knockout. Still, I would have liked to have seen that. Jay the teacher says, I'd rather watch hockey. Yeah. Fabian says, it's weird to see such a small man fighting a giant. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, gotta just keep on trucking. So, to start the conclusion of this episode, on this 11/15, I guess my thoughts on it are, if you're just starting out, I wouldn't take anything that anyone says seriously, because you're new. So their first inclination is to not like what you're doing because you're new and you're stacked up against some established order that they have. Like if you do like jangly, melodic rock, someone's going to say, "Oh, you're just trying to be the Beatles." And, that's going to suck, but you kind of have to accept that you're going to get a lot of that in the beginning. Where people are going to try to like suss you out, like, oh, you're influenced. Like, I mean, I still get that. Like, oh, you're obviously influenced by this, this, and this. And it's like, yeah, but that's not my whole life. I mean, sure. Okay. But that's not everything about me. And as time goes by, these things come out. And then it's sort of like, oh, so I guess he could be influenced by blues and the Chameleons UK and Depeche Mode and Kraftwerk and punk rock. So that's kind of like, Steve, you're so funny. Is it wrong that I'm watching Claude? And yeah, I have sumo wrestling on Twitch in split screen. Sumo wrestling? You're watching sumo wrestling? I mean, you're not even watching the fight? You did a split screen to watch sumo wrestling, Steve? That's funny. Oh, man. Sumo wrestling. TMT says, it's okay to pay homage to the Beatles in your music. Tears for Fears does that big time in their latest album, which is fantastic, by the way. It is an interesting combination, though. So, yeah. So you kind of like, whether it's art or music, you kind of have to pursue what your thing is. And of course, look, I can tell you this from experience because yes, I'm old and I've been doing this for a long time on both sides of it. Visual and the music. And I can tell you this, in the very beginning, you're trying to to look and sound and be just like your heroes because you want to be your heroes. And I get it. That's the beginning phase. You want to do that. But slowly, you're going to find your own voice. You're going to find your own thing. And it's like, huh, my heroes didn't like crayons, but I do. My heroes weren't doing like this kind of music, but I do like this kind of music. You know, my heroes weren't destroying this, that, or the other thing, but I am. So I'm going to pursue it. You know, that's what I consider the correct attitude. If you stick to your heroes and you're like, I want to be just like them to the point where you might as well be a cover band at that point. You might as well just do covers because that's really you're not gonna escape it. So it's very important to escape that side of it while completely being open to wearing your influences on your sleeve at the same time. You can do it. Eric says, so what did you think of the new album from The Cure? I actually have not heard it. But I have a good reason. Remember, I was just coming back from Jersey as it was coming out. And then all this other stuff has happened on my side of the world. And I just haven't had time to sit down with it yet. I want to give it some time. I'm actually taking a bit of a drive tomorrow, so going to Burbank, as it were. Secret surprise for next week. But yeah, I was thinking of listening to it tomorrow on my ride, during my ride. So, you know, I can't give you an opinion on it. I love the cover art, and I think I heard one track, and it was like just coming through, and someone said, "Oh, this is from the new album." And I turned it off because I didn't want to listen to it. I want to like give it its entire thing. But apparently everyone seems to like it. So, that's a good sign because I actually really like The Cure. So it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. I even liked Bloodflower, so I'm fine. Oh, nice. Richard says, third listen was awesome. Fourth is even better. And Wendy says, the Cure album is really good. Yeah, see? All good. That gives me hope. Oh, that does give me hope. It does. So it's 9:30. We've got half an hour. I've got 4 songs, so I'm going to play. So this one's a twofer. This one is called All I Ever Wanted. And this one is a full-on demo, again, at my desk. And this time you can hear the clackety-clack of the keys. And that one is going to go into The Valley of Despair from 19, which was also a request, but I've lost my notes, so I can't remember who requested something from 19. I don't know. I'm sorry. But here we go. Visuals. We'll do Moon Chat so I can still see what you're writing, and we can keep chatting. All I Ever Wanted with The Valley of Despair.
Here in my arms, all I've ever needed was something like your charm. All I've ever seen was the beauty of the world. Every single moment, I guess you are unfurled. All the light is distant and I am on my own, but I'm always dreaming of all your simple words.
Wow. So Jake Paul won. Spoiler alert. Sorry. Oh, well. What are you going to do? It wasn't my choice, but oh, I was supposed to play another song. Shit.
Your eyes, bright in the snow like the pain. It grips me and turns me again. My time is distorted at times like these. These hours are spent in the warmth of the fire that just endlessly burns. Something inside me, my heart cries out. Your eyes will cry again, like they did some years before. And now it seems to me I've got to go across the valley of despair, across the valley of despair, across the valley of hate. In life, I found so much ache from inside. I'm trapped in my destiny's tide. I'm forced to the point where I can't go back to you. Life is so full with desires. I feel so suppressed by your smile. It makes me forget what I had to say. Your eyes will cry again, like they did some years before, when everything was new and we lived across the valley of despair, across the valley of despair, across the valley of despair, across the valley. Your eyes, bright in the moon like the rain, surround me with teardrops again, making me want to engulf myself inside. Something is longing to end. All of the sadness is you.
watch you leave. Across the valley of despair, across the valley of despair, across the valley of despair.
So Jake Paul won. Such a weird thing. I'm gonna play some more music because we only have like less than 15 minutes or so. So I'm just gonna play music. Besides, I promised you I would play this. So we'll see how many people tune in just because they hear this or they see this. So I came across this on YouTube and I started the stream off with it, but you weren't ready for this. I wasn't ready for this. But see, this is the thing. Me being the songwriter, I should take like I would be like, but at the same time I was like, hey, this guy who did this mix has 65,000 followers and people love the stuff he does. So I can't complain. And I won't. Sorry. Good. That's good. You didn't get to, you'll have to figure out what I said earlier because now I can take it all back. I can take back everything I said. Yes. I know the mic. Is it still off? It's back. Is it still off? Hello, hello, hello. Uh-oh. Did we mess up? Come on. Am I back? I think I'm back. Okay. Yeah, there's a delay, so I won't know if I'm back until one of you says, okay, thank you. So therefore, I can. I'm going to reach out to that. I don't want to put. I'll put the link in my socials. I'll do that. But I'm going to reach out to the guy who did it and send him some stems to see what he does with another song. So, just because. Oh, yeah. I'll take back everything I said when I was muted. So there you go. Well, thank you. I mean, if the chipmunk voice wasn't there, I think I would have liked it. Oh man, but it is what it is. See, compared to the weird stuff I'm doing now, which is like the stuff that I started the stream with, it's like I'm miles away from that. But it's okay. Like that's what I'm saying. It's all right. Anyway, we've got a little time left, so I'm going to I would, but I don't know. I don't know. Like Jay the teacher says, send some stems to Wes Wallace at Numbers. Listen, how about this? How about I send you the stems and you convince him to do a mix, because I don't think he would do it, but you can try. You can try, Jay the teacher. I'll send you the link to the stems, and you're free to do whatever you want with the stems. And, well, not free to do anything you want with the stems, but you know what I mean. You can give it to him and see what he says. And, right? So, I know. So here's what I'm going to do. So sometime, well, we'll see. Yeah, it is on YouTube. It is, for sure. That's where I got it from, because I get alerts. So this is how I found out about it. YouTube sends me a daily alert on anything that's going on with ABOX. So if it's like a mention of a show or, press that I'm not aware of or anything of the sort, it sends me a message. And I happened to see this video and I was like, wow, this is interesting. Chipmunky voice aside, I kind of still don't like that part, but one of the things that I encourage you to do, which I did it, and I wish I should have saved it, but when you find it on YouTube, play it at half speed. I swear it's interesting it's really weird at half speed, because the voice stays chipmunked, but it's crazy how the music goes crazy. So, Bandy thing ox with the stamps. Go for it. Yeah, I'll send it to whoever wants them. But, like I said, I have stems of a song that is currently being remixed by 2 people. And I heard one of the mixes that it's definitely coming out. So, yeah. So I just wanted to give them the heads up for a few weeks. But yeah, for sure. Yes, it might be fun, but it's not me. But hats off. Hey, I can't complain. It's a remix. So this one is for Lalo. He's not here. He's not with us tonight, but this was his request from last week, and I promised him I was going to play it. So I'm going to play pieces for him. This is from the new album. So if you don't have it, at least you get to hear this. This is Pieces. And then after this, I will say my goodbyes and we'll play the last song that'll take us out. Pieces. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Stephen, thank you. Thank you. Really, really thank you. I wanted to pay attention to that sort of thing. I wanted to, well, let me put it this way. I'm gonna read what you said because I actually really like that compliment. I like that compliment, and thank you so much for that compliment. Stephen writes, I really like how you use the stereo field on the new album, building up a space yet keeping an overall balance. Some of the percussion and samples are panned, but thanks in part to the reverb, it never drifts out of the world within the song. Yeah, nerd out here for a second. I want to tell you a secret. So when I was doing distances, I had this, and it's a dumb idea. I had this idea that I wanted to keep certain instruments completely dry. And what I realized was that I inadvertently took some of the instruments out of the world that they were living in. And so to me, that was like a weird mistake because I've gone back since then and like revisited some of the songs, and I realized, oh man, I needed that extra glue. So it was like something that I sort of like wrote in my journal like a couple of years ago actually, and it was like, next album, do not let the instruments just go willy-nilly outside of the realm of the world. And actually that's the word I use, the like the realm. So I'm very cognizant of that these days. So definitely a great observation, and thank you for pointing it out. Oh, Mikey, nice of you to stop in. Um, just woke up and going to bed in a minute. You missed Dead Stars. I dedicated it to you, man. But I'm going to dedicate a different one to you as I go and close this thing. This thing that we constructed while Jake Paul won that stupid fight. So, fun fact, for those that know, you know. For those that don't, you won't know. But I'm going to tell you now. The track that I'm going to send you off with is called Time to Go. And it was on a lacquer. So the master of this song, besides the master that I have, is sitting on 3 vinyl lacquers that are somewhere out in the world. And if you have that lacquer, on side A is a very long version of Living in Oblivion, and on the other side is this song. And this is what I'm going to send you guys off with. Try to listen tomorrow, Mikey. The opening of the whole thing is a bit for you. So, sorry about your mom, man. Yeah, they all know, because I'm a tattletale. Sorry. But I have to go check on my patient. So I will let you all go, and I will see you next week. I might have a surprise or two for next week too. So I'll turn on the UFO cam. I'll play the last song. And once again, happy birthday to the 3 of you who had birthdays today. And I'll see you next week.
And you know, we must have this clang and rattle. We must, hour by hour, relentlessly.
Then a thought came to me.
And you know, we must have this clang and rattle. We must, hour by hour, relentlessly.
Then a thought came to me. Then a thought came to me. Then a thought came to me.
Good night.
I'm tired of it. Can't you see it?